Hey, yo.
Back hero.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
And I want to start again. Now we're fucking recording.
All right. Boom.
Bro, we were talking crazy just a second ago to the point where, like, I had to make a decision to stop recording and then start again because of how crazy we were talking. It was funny, though. Just take our word for it. The bits were hilarious.
Some people just believe some weird stuff.
We were arguing with people whether or not gravity is real and how silly those conversations are, and like how people... There's some sects of people who think that dinosaurs aren't real, and kind of like, bro, like, who fucking cares, man? Like, they existed 100 million years ago.
What's the problem?
What's the big deal? Like, how does that like ruin your worldview that dinosaurs used to exist like ages ago? That's hilarious.
I don't understand how people, because at that point it's like people just, it's so subjective. Like, they're just picking and choosing certain things. Like, you know, if you don't think gravity's real, then how, you know what I mean? What makes you think that's air you're breathing?
Right, bro. You think that's air you're breathing?
You know what I mean? Yeah. No. You said nope. It's all.
Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Everything's fake, right? Yeah. We're back. It's been a long time. We are back. The SwordCast thus hath returned.
Yeah.
I missed you, man.
Yeah, bro.
Kind of out.
Missed you too, bro. Hold on, wait a minute. Before we do what we've been into lately, I'm making an executive decision here.
Boom, shakalaka.
We're gonna just make some space for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
First of all, I love you, bro. I'm glad to have you back in the seat.
Love you too, man.
And it's not like for behind the scenes. It ain't like this is the first time I've seen him since the last time we did the episode, which was like a month or more ago. We've been in communication for a while, but we know that you had to take some time off, and we just wanted to give you your flowers first of all, so that you know that you're loved and respected and all of that in this space.
That, man.
And just give you your space to kind of reflect and whatever you want to share about your journey.
Oh man, yeah, I appreciate that, and everybody's been, sending me a lot of messages. People in the Discord, on Instagram, everything. But yeah, I just kind of been going through a lot of stuff, man. Just with music, and I was dealing with a lot of stuff with that, and just just kind of started as me taking a break from like my phone.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of taking a break from life in general, you know what I'm saying?
We need it though sometimes.
We do. We do. So yeah, man, I just kind of, went on a little personal journey out of the country, and just kind of spent some time alone, and then came back and just still wasn't, I still didn't I just wasn't ready to talk to people, you know. So I still been you kind of been one of the only people I really been, you know, communicating with, and then it was like I thought I wanted to kind of get back into it, and then I didn't. So then I just like took some more time off. But you know, I'm finally, you know, starting to feel a little better and
good.
Wanting to, you know, interact with my people and talk about the stuff that we like. You know, It's been a while. It has been a while. So I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff that you know, that even me and you haven't really discussed that has been going on. A lot of movies, a lot of wrestling stuff, a lot of video game stuff, just a lot of everything. So I'm back. The SwordCast is back.
Boom.
And let's go, man. Boom.
Yeah. So what have I been into lately? Man, I don't know. Shit, it's in the past month, like tons, and we'll talk about it as we go. I've been playing a lot of video games. Some really dog. It's about to be such a crazy stretch of video games coming out.
It is.
Like, I'm actually a little nervous because I'm all like it's rare because I typically play like one game at a time, and I try to time it so that like when I'm done with the next game,
you can get the next one that comes out.
This is the first time where I have a backlog. Like I have, like I'm still playing. I have not finished the new Zelda game yet. I'm still playing that. By the time that comes out, the new, so the new Final Fantasy game is going to come out. So I talked a lot of shit about the Final Fantasy game, and I still feel how I feel about it. I'm disappointed that they have doubled down on like not including black people.
No,
fuck that. Bro, they tried to call out the director, and that nigga looked us dead in our eyes and was like, "No, fuck that." It wasn't no niggas back then, and we not putting them in this game. He said, "Fuck off, bro."
It was harsh.
So
it was blunt.
It was. That nigga said, "Nah, hell, fuck, fuck that." It wasn't no niggas back then, and we not doing that shit. On my watch. I will not have it.
Can y'all stop sharing stuff from Butt Crack Sports?
Dog, I love when those go viral because I don't think people are in on the joke yet, bro.
That's because all they see is a blue check, so they just
silly.
What
was the headline?
I just always see people. It was something about Giannis signing somewhere, but it's like it says Butt Crack Sports, guys.
But Ball Sack is another one. Ball Sack Sports. That was actually the first one.
Ball Sack Sports, Butt Crack Sports, and it's like people see the blue check. Yeah. It's got to be legit.
So, funnily, I was saying about Final Fantasy 16. Chris, our friend Chris, has been talking to me about it, and he was like, "Bro, that game is about to be sweet. I'll literally buy it for you, so you don't have to. You don't have to.
So you don't have to feel
guilty
like
about it.
You're losing your wokeness,
right? So you don't have to spend. You don't have to put money in his racist pocket. But you have to play this game. So I'm gonna end up playing this shit. Like I'll have to eat my laser eyes for a second.
I have to eat my laser eyes.
I mean, I get that. You know, things can be nuanced. I can play the game and still feel like it is shitty for not doing. You know, being obstinate about, you know, inclusion and diversity, but whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's coming out. Then you got AEW, that game, and I'm super excited about that.
I am too, man. I've seen a lot of people, you know, saying that, you know, talking about the graphics or whatever, but you know, for what it is, it's a WWE 2K alternative, first of all. Second of all, if you want to play 2K, just play WWE 2K. Yeah. And you know, it's developed by, you know, THQ, so same people that made you know, the old classic Nintendo 64 wrestling games that we used to play back in the day, WCW versus NWO, WCW NWO Revenge, No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, like all those sweet Nintendo 64 wrestling there. And I mean, those games like really just they really revolutionized like wrestling games, because that formula
for sure
for the moves and like the way that the grappling worked and the way that the strikes work, like the heavy strikes and like that stuff is still in the wrestling games.
For sure.
So, but even just with that said, like the game looks fun.
It looks fun,
at the end of the day, everything else aside, like the game looks fun, bro.
Agreed.
It just looks fun. It looks like it will be a fun game to play. I am definitely excited for it. I mean, you can pull out the skateboard with Darby Allin.
He pulls it out of his pocket. He pulls it out of hilarious,
out of nothing, which is awesome. Like it's a video.
Darby Allin Toon Force confirmed.
Darby Allin versus Bugs Bunny.
All right.
But it looks fun, so I want to play it too.
I'm excited. Forspoken has a DLC that just came out, and so I'm excited about that. But the point is, I have a backlog already, and there's like 3 more amazing games that are about to come out, and games that I'll definitely have to play. So like, this is weird. Like, I usually don't have games. And Street Fighter, bro, I had to stop playing Tears of the Kingdom because Street Fighter 6 came out, and I needed to scratch that itch right quick.
Oh my gosh, I'm so behind on video games.
Yeah, bro. Street Fighter 6 is sweet too. Like, I
gotta play it.
They nailed it, I think. But we'll get to that soon. But the other thing that I've been into is a really quick basketball update. The Pistons fucked around and hired Monty Williams. How about that?
Basketball,
right?
I forgot basketball existed after the Warriors got eliminated.
Yep. Shout out to Uncle Jokic. Hey, let me see that bitch one time, cuz. Nephew. Throw that bitch from back here. All net. 30 point, 16 rebounds.
If Draymond Green has the backpack jump shot from high school when dude's coming straight from the lunchroom. Hey, let me get one.
Let me get a shot real quick.
If that is the backpack holding your shoulders down, if that's Draymond Green's form, Jokic definitely has the old head at the park.
Yep.
Like, hey nephew,
let me get, bro. I literally
sits the bottle down first.
Right. And flip flops, bro. Literally, I'm just describing my Uncle Derek. Like, I have a uncle, my Uncle Derek. Me and my cousin Justin. He used to take us to. Me and my cousin Justin used to go with my Uncle Derek and my big cousin Ray. We used to go to Belle Isle at like age 13.
I haven't been to Belle Isle since I was a kid.
So we used to go there.
Still get shredded by the slide if you.
Oh fuck yeah! We used to go there to hoop though with like because there was the court on Belle Isle.
I used to play ball there too.
We used to go there to hoop at like age 13 against grown ass men.
Yep.
I mean that's low key like kind of. I went through the fires at Belle Isle for sure.
Oh, definitely me too.
But my Uncle Derek. Hey, let me see that bitch one time, nephew. With the flip flops, never stretches. Like. Used to hoop back in like the 80s, but like was nice in the 80s. Never stretches. Always got on like shorts that are way too long. Got a tank top, like not really in shape, but like kind of still in shape a little bit. And he shoot that bitch from behind his neck and bloody fucking cash every time, dog. And talk crazy shit too. And like is really good at like being annoying and like gamesman, like that kind of park gamesmanship. He used to do this thing where like he would get under my cousin Justin's skin so quickly by like arguing foul calls and like just mucking up the game. And Justin would get so mad. I'm like, bro, Jay, he is trolling you, bro. Like, stop paying him attention.
Mucking up.
Just old head gamesmanship,
just
dog.
Old head nonsense. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, exactly. Oops, jeez. I just oh, there we go. It's back. Yeah. Anyways, shout out to Jokic. Shout out to Jamal Murray. I've always been a fan of his.
So Jokic is undoubtedly top 75.
Yeah, it's crazy that he didn't. Well, you know what? I actually am on the other side of that argument. I get why he didn't make it this year, but like now you got to kick one of the Moheads out of there.
You got to get. You guys got to start. You guys got to kick John Havlicek out.
Bro, John Havlicek. No, was it? Who was the one that was a bum? Like Bob Cousy, trash. Bob Cousy was flat out like not good, bro. Like he was bad.
And then you always get that guy that comes in the conversation trying to get brownie points. Y'all don't know nothing. My top 5 all time: Bob Cousy. And they just start naming all these really old players that they didn't watch play.
You gotta get these old heads out of here.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Bob Cousy was weak, bro. He averaged. He had some good years, right?
All I
you know
know
what I'm
is
saying?
that Bob Cousy was just only dribble with his right hand.
That nigga never ever shot
Might
more
as well
than.
put his left hand in his pocket.
Okay, so you basketball hipsters, 1950. Fuck you, man. I would bust Bob Cousy's ass today. Today, I would.
Whoa, man.
Look.
Easy.
Bob Cousy in his career never shot over 30%. He never shot over 40% from the floor. Not from 3, from the floor. So these basketball hipsters that want to talk about inefficient, they would laugh him out of the room these days. Like he would this level of play would like be a bottom of the second round pick.
Ooh.
Rotational guard that like that probably doesn't get taken to playoffs. Like that kind of player. Weak.
Yep.
We're talking about I don't know, fucking Braxton Key type shit from the Detroit Pistons. Do anybody know who that is? Of course you don't.
Nope. All right, moving on.
Right, exactly. Weak. Anyways, the Pistons hired Monty Williams, the best coach available. I was very surprised that they pulled that off.
I know they took forever to hire a coach. Is there a move? So say they took this long. Was there another coach that you were scared they would have hired that you would have just been not happy with after taking so long?
Yeah, well,
that happens. You know what
for
I mean?
sure, because you miss out on the guys. I think everybody's dream was Ime Udoka, but he went to Houston right away. I mean, I think if we knew Monty Williams was going to be available, he would be at the top of people's list. And we also, I don't think anybody thought that he would ever consider the Pistons because the Pistons are not good, and he just came off of being coach of the year. The coach that all the fan base was worried about was Kevin Ollie. They were roasting him in fucking Twitter, bro. They were like, Kevin Ollie is gonna give one of those OTE inspirational speeches and lead us right back to the lottery. Like, bro, like you don't know. I mean, I was softer on Kevin Ollie because I don't know, man. Who cares? Like, maybe he'll be good. We don't know. Charles Lee was the guy that everybody wanted because he was like the number 2 guy in Milwaukee, and it was like had a good reputation as like a player's coach. He was young and all of that good stuff. But once Monty became available, and it became like a story that the Pistons were after him, I didn't think we had a shot, but we offered him a bag, and he was like, you know what? I'll allow it.
I'll go, yeah, man. I mean,
and he loves Cade Cunningham. Like I know for a fact he's been quoted as being like really enamored with Cade Cunningham. Yeah.
I also think he was Phoenix, right?
Yep.
You've been there for so long, and it's like you've been right at he just been like right at the tip of being like one of the best teams in the league, but just kind of not being able to get over the hump and win a championship. And I feel like if you are coaching and that's been your thing, that's kind of been your position
standard.
Like, why not
take some of the pressure
why
off?
not step off, like just reclimb the ladder and start, you know what I'm saying?
That's the reason why he didn't want to go to, well, he was, allegedly the story is that he was either going to come to Milwaukee or to Detroit, but Detroit was the job he wanted more because the pressure in Milwaukee would have been, nigga, if you don't win a championship.
It would have been just like Phoenix.
Right. It'd be worse.
He might have been one and done if he
It would have been worse, bro.
Yeah.
If you don't win a championship immediately, failure off top. So, like, this is a much, much chiller job, and we got one of the nicest young cores in the league. So,
if you get into the play-in with this team, like
bro, he's a legend.
That's
He's a legend.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Automatically.
Yeah.
So it's like you want that, or you want to lose in the NBA finals.
And then they fire you.
Get fired.
Right. Like, no, failure.
Because
like, damn.
Because you're trash. Like
everybody kind of talked about, I mean, I get the Giannis quote was weird, but it wasn't totally crazy. Like, everybody went crazy on him because he didn't want to admit that his season was a failure because they lost in the first round. Losing in the first round to an 8 seed, I understood what he was saying in spirit, but like, it's hard to make that argument if you lose to an 8 seed in the first round and get like swept, I think, or maybe a gentleman's sweep. Either way, the point of like, shit, either I fucking win the championship or I'm trash. Like, that's it. Like, that's the only. I gotta get what he was saying there.
I do too. I didn't even know that happened, but that's the whole thing that people do, man. Is the whole championships or you're not a. That's dumb.
Right.
Like
either you sweet or you weak as hell.
Right.
Like,
and guess what? I got one.
Right.
So
right. I got 1 and 2 MVPs.
Yeah,
and
bro. So
fucking
gotta stop.
Whatever. I'm one of the greatest players of all time.
Facts.
I can retire today and
still be one of the best ever. I agree with that.
That's what I've been into.
But yeah, man, I've really just been watching a bunch of wrestling and watching a lot of movies, man. I just really been into those two things.
Have we made you into a sci-fi fan yet?
Yes. So shout out to my homie Nick, aka Manifesto. You guys know I hate social media, so Letterboxd is like my favorite app now. I love Letterboxd. And me and my homie Nick, basically we started doing this little film thing where, you know, we give each other a movie and we have like 7 days to watch the movie. And he kind of started off giving me some sci-fi stuff. And I was, you know, giving him like some anime movies because he was watching like animated films and stuff like that. Now I'm giving him some samurai joints. But yeah, man, so I've always loved sci-fi, and I think the last time that we recorded an episode, I was talking about how I watched that movie, Sunshine.
Yeah.
And the movie's good. Then he gave me this other movie called Annihilation with Natalie Portman. Like, that movie was really good.
That shit was wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I do, man. I am a big sci-fi fan.
Okay, bro. The next one then that I need you to watch, this is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. Ask Nick about it. I guarantee you he's seen it, and I guarantee he'll give you glowing reviews. Children of Men.
Children of Men. That's the movie you told me about with you've talked about that before on here.
Where
there's no children can't be born, and then there's like that scene with that big fight, and then the baby starts crying, and
everybody stops. It's crazy. It's so fucking dope, dog.
I gotta check that out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's good.
But yeah, I just been into that. I've been and like I said, just watching a lot of movies. Been watching a lot of samurai, old samurai movies, man, which I love.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Oh boy,
man, they be, Killian. That's my guy. But there's a tweet here. It's the Shaq and Kobe meme, and it says Killian and D'Angelo Russell for the Guangdong China League. Don't do my son like that, bro. Don't do my nephew like that, bro. It's
crazy whenever somebody like has a bad season, like instantly,
right?
Oh man, anybody go crazy in China next year. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of old samurai movies, man. And that's really it, man. I've just been into just watching movies and good old wrestling. But yeah, man, let's get back into some of the things we've been missing. There's a huge wrestling recap,
bro. Yeah, go for it.
So we've missed a lot. I'll start with Best of Super Junior, man. when I was in Japan, I actually got to go to night one.
Hey.
Best of Super Junior is New Japan. It's the cruiserweight tournament. It was fire. Master Wato won. It was dope. The whole tournament. Oh man, Lio Rush. I think that Lio Rush is, first of all, he's insane. He is so good. And now that he's in New Japan, I'm really hoping that he sticks
Sorry. Inside joke.
I'm hoping that he sticks. And
Edmund's the only person that got that joke.
And that he continues. Shout out to Edmund. And man, I saw this armor that he's making today.
Yeah,
that is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did he tell you what it was? Did you see what it actually is?
No, but it's like a Ghost of Tsushima, like
I wonder.
Legend
Hold on.
of Zelda.
I'm about to call this nigga right now because I don't want to know. I don't want to
misinterpret it
or like spoil.
Yeah, it's literally the best thing I've ever seen in my life. It's crazy.
Watch him also not pick up the phone. Bruh. Yo, you picked up the phone, my guy.
Yeah.
The reason why I made that joke is because you're live on the SwordCast right this instant.
Yay.
It's not.
Yeah. Hey man, I saw today, I was on Facebook and I saw the armor that you made, and it is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, thank you.
So the reason why I called you is because I remember. So full disclosure, unfortunately we missed hanging out, linking up with Nav, but Edmund was in town with me last week for like basically the whole week. Like he was like staying at the crib.
Oh, that's fire.
Which was cool because he used to spend the night over here all the time when we were little. So like it was a nice little memory lane thing.
So many.
Yeah, right. And you told me about what you were doing with your armor, and I didn't know if it was okay to like say what it is. I don't know is it a spoiler? Is it like, are you not revealing what it is until it's time?
I mean, I just posted more about it, so pretty much all the details are in the hashtags about what it is at this point. So the cat's kind of out of the bag,
Boom. Well, in that case, the actual character, I thought it was just Ghost of Tsushima at first. It's actually Samurai Link.
Oh my god,
that's fire!
Somebody went ahead and put it on my Facebook, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm running with this shit." Ghost of HYRULE.
Woo! That might have to be the title of this episode, and it don't have nothing to do with what we talking about.
You know what? That very well may have to be the title.
That's
of this
fire.
episode.
All right,
goodness gracious.
I checked the Instagram. It hit me today. Like, okay, so if I am gonna go with the ghost, I'm gonna need the smaller sword as well as the dagger, so I can sneak up on people and get the ghost on them and everything. And I got the pouches, so maybe I might throw some bombs in there or something. I don't know.
Let's go.
So cool,
mix it up
man.
a little bit. So.
All right, man. Well, we'll see. Are you unveiling it at BlurredCon?
Oh yeah, the full. I mean, I might do a couple sneak peek pics and whatnot before then on Instagram. Follow your boy on Rue ROUX_feed FEE_OOHH. Is there a third H? I don't remember. Sometimes it might be. I don't remember. But yeah, one of those. And you might get a sneak peek here and there. And then the full unveiling will definitely be at BlurredCon.
Yes, sir. It's amazing. Wow.
Hopefully in the following years, I'll be able to follow up with some alternate versions.
I'm with it, bro.
That's so sick.
Might be we'll see.
I'm a fan, so there it is. All right, bro. We're gonna get back to recording. I'll talk to you later.
Guest appearance.
Peace.
All right, bro. I'll see you later.
All right. Peace.
Love you too, man.
Too, bro.
Yeah, that I saw it. It looks insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, man, back to wrestling. Night of Champions was good. WWE has actually been really good. AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins for the new belt. That match was fire. Seth won. Obviously, I think most of us wanted that.
Yeah.
Even the Gunther versus Mustafa Ali match was good too. So Night of Champions was, and you know what? Like every time they do a show in Jeddah, the Saudi Arabia shows always suck because it just feels like they're going there for the money. So it's like this was the first show that they did there that felt like it was a pay-per-view that just happened to be there. It wasn't like the show that they made just for that. That's what it usually feels like.
That's dope.
So it was a good show. And then Double or Nothing, man. You actually came over.
Yeah.
We watched the Double or Nothing. And you know what? it was weak until there was a time. First of all, the crowd was horrible.
Yeah, Vegas crowds don't do wrestling all that well, it seems like.
Like, the crowd was horrible. They were dead. They were, like, completely silent. My goodness. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho might be...
That shit was trash.
Like, that
the match was fine, but like but it just was not like interesting.
Was it though? Like, it was there was
a part
boring.
It got good at the end.
I just didn't care. I don't care.
Right.
And the fact that it was like 30 minutes long made me really
it was so fucking long, though.
Really not care, and the crowd wasn't into it. That was just and then then like I really started tripping when Tony Storm beat Jamie Hayter for the championship,
bruh.
And then it was like, we kind of found out that Jamie Hayter was hurt.
Yeah.
And then I was really tripping about that, and then I was like, "Dog, this pay-per-view sucks."
Yeah.
And then, but then it was like. It was bad, and then
it was the worst pay-per-view, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the worst AEW pay-per-view of all time. But then we did get some cool stuff like Chris Statlander coming out and then Jay Cargill's streak, and then like the way that they did it kept Jay looking strong because they did it like after a match, so that she just had, so that was cool. And then the 4-way, man, like I think the only like. The 4-way match was amazing.
It was
that
fire.
MJF, Jungle Boy, Darby, and Sammy Guevara. The match was so good. It was fun. It was exciting. It was really dope. The only thing that hurt that match for me was I just knew MJF wasn't going to lose the title, and that's kind of the problem with like
pulling that too.
It's not even that. The problem is that these champions don't ever defend their titles. Like, so. When they're not defending it a lot, it's like when they're doing it at a pay-per-view, he's not gonna lose it now. Like this is only his like second title defense. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah,
so it's like I just wish that they would kind of defend it a little more. Then it would kind of build up that like he might. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I just never felt like he's gonna lose it. And then the main event, the insane. Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club match.
We predicted that Jon Moxley would be bleeding immediately.
Dog, the ref was bleeding. Like, what is happening? First of all, I mean, it's AEW. There's going to be blood. Bro, okay, I have to skip but I'll come back because this is just hilarious. So the next thing I was going to talk about is Dominion. Dominion is one of New Japan's biggest pay-per-views. It's one of my favorite shows every year. And they had a 6-man tag where Jon Moxley, Claudio, and Shota Umino, who is when he was a young lion, like he teamed with Moxley, so him and Moxley are boys. So and they faced the 6-man tag champs in New Japan right now, who are Okada, Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii.
Holy shit!
That match was amazing. Jon Moxley bleeds, dog. People don't bleed like that in New Japan. So for him to go there,
he just got tissue paper skin, bro.
he takes a headbutt in the first like 5 minutes of the match, and he's just leaking. And I was like, dog, this guy. That was pretty funny. But the Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club match was amazing. It was so fun and entertaining. And we got an exploding super kick.
Bro, I've never seen anything like that before. We were like unsure what happened. Like, what just happened?
This dude's getting thumbtacks put in their mouth.
Oh my god. Somebody got what happened to Kenny got like
he got killed.
Yeah, he's dead.
That match was so fun.
Yeah.
But then like I was saying, Dominion, New Japan. Dominion was dope. Hiromu Takahashi beat Master Wato, who won BOSJ. Man, my favorite match. I just talked about the 6-man match. That was fire. I'll come back to that. My favorite match, man. So Sonata is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about Sonata on here before. He was kind of had the big gimmick change, won New Japan Cup, beat Okada for the championship. I'm loving this guy's champ, and it's no coincidence. Like Muta trained him, so he kind of wrestles like him a little bit. So I've always been a fan of Sonata. He had this match at Dominion against Yota Tsuji, who. So this guy, I've never seen New Japan do something. I mean, I've really never seen this. It's been a long time since I saw something like this. This guy was a young lion, and, you know, he hasn't been there for a while. He came back, kind of challenged Sonata at their last show, Wrestling Del Taco, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And this is like everybody's first time seeing him since he came back. So now he's got like a look, he's got his gimmick, and usually leading up to a pay-per-view match, New Japan does like all the tag matches, so you see the guys wrestle against each other. This dude, Yuta Tsuji, did not have a match at all leading up. So, and no one's seen him in years since he was like a young lion. So you have no idea what moves he does. Like, you don't know what he's going to be like. And I've never seen him do this before. So the first time you see him is in this match, and it was like, I've never really seen a match like it because the crowd was like going crazy because they didn't know what his moveset was, like nothing. They didn't know anything about the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's like, all you know is that he does a spear, right? Because he had speared Sonata when he challenged him. So Sonata, it's like all match, it's like he is playing this role of like, I don't know what to expect. I just know he does the spear, so I have to look out for this spear. Mm. So like the match was, and then like this dude Yuta Tsuji like does this like, he does this like, he like runs. It's like a dive to the outside, but he runs to the ropes and like turns backwards and like flips over the ropes. And he's big, so like, and the crowd just like went nuts. And the whole match was really good. And like I said, it was just this weird dynamic of like nobody knowing what the heck he was gonna do. I never really seen a match like that. So that match was creative. That match was fire. And then last Dominion was good, but then obviously the big thing from Dominion, dog, was Bryan Danielson coming on the screen and challenging Okada to a match at Forbidden Door.
Strong.
Dog, we are about to get Omega versus Ospreay 2 and Bryan Danielson versus Okada at Forbidden Door. So that's insane. That's nuts. But let's go, man. Let's start talking about some of these things that we have missed out on. First up on the docket, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, man. What'd you think about it?
I liked it. It was good. It was definitely a lot better than the second one. I think it was about the same as the first one, which I liked a lot. So that's a high compliment. Man, I think we did kind of talk about this off air, where this Guardians like nailed the combat. Like there was that hallway fight.
Oh man, that's
crazy.
Yes.
So it was fun. I mean, it had the usual James Gunn funny kind of shtick, which was cool. I liked it. It was really good. It's probably one of the, I think it might be my favorite MCU movie that has come out in this new phase, because it hasn't really been. I think it's just been Quantumania and this, and is that it?
I think so. Not sure.
Yeah. Quantumania was a little disappointing. Like,
yeah, it was. So. I just, it's just Ant-Man.
Yeah, right. And Ant-Man is he's a dope character in the comics, but like like, why did we pick this version of him?
Do these
like, there's so many better versions of Ant-Man.
Scott Lang. We could have just did Hank Pym. Like, Hank Pym didn't have to be old.
He didn't have to be old. He could have just been.
That was just something that they
just decided.
It's the same age as Iron Man.
Exactly. Hank Pym is the same age as Iron Man and all those guys.
Yeah. So I don't really understand that. But I really loved it. I loved Guardians Volume 3, man. It was my favorite of the three movies. I think just obviously the music is always fire, but just them giving us like the backstory that everyone really wanted with Rocket. Like having the High Evolutionary, like one of the, really just a dope cosmic Marvel character being the villain in this movie. And like you said, man, I think for the first time they really nailed the action for these movies. All the action scenes were amazing. That hallway fight scene where everybody had a that like panoramic fight scene where everyone had their moments. That was one of the greatest action scenes in the MCU
for sure.
That was amazing. And I mean, hey man, some people might not like it, but this is the Gamora. Like this is
this is the most comic accurate version of Gamora.
The Gamora for sure. Like this is the
fucking
one
killer.
Yes.
Like a badass, bro.
This is the Gamora. You know, kind of the callback to the suits from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Oh man, like Mega Groot was really dope. I love this movie. I think it was one of my favorite MCU movies. The only thing that I have to dock it for, I did not like the way they portrayed Adam Warlock.
Bro, that's the biggest nerfing of a hero in the history of the MCU, I think.
I don't know if I'll go hero, maybe.
Who do you think is worse?
Oh, the Black Order. They nerfed the crap out of the Black Order
for sure.
Infinity War, bro. Black Widow beat Proxima Midnight. And Proxima Midnight would have beat her in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. But at least, so here, this is why I would argue that Adam Warlock is worse. With the Black Order, or the did I say it right?
Yeah, the Black Order. Thanos is.
Yeah, they were at least like portrayed seriously. Like they were supposed to be threats.
Yeah, that's facts. Like Adam Warlock was portrayed as a literal, like, funny.
They turned Adam Warlock, who is in the comics, Adam Warlock is a top tier nigga.
Yeah, he is.
He's not quite like Galactus, but he's Silver Surfer. He's Doctor Strange. He's
on that level.
He's Thanos without the gauntlets. Like he's in that, like Thor, in that tier. He's one of the heavy hitters. And they turned him into, not only, he was powerful, I guess, but like he was a complete, total clown.
Yeah, buffoon.
It was unbelievable. I completely forgot about that, bro.
I didn't like that. That was kind of my only gripe with the movie.
Fuck. I forgot about that shit. Yeah, that I didn't like that either. Because I fuck with Adam Warlock. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, so that was like the one thing that really kind of that I took some points off for, but
Agreed.
I loved it, man. It was one of my favorite Marvel movies. I enjoyed it a lot. Boom. Another movie. We're gonna save the big dog for last. Mm-hmm. Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
What?
Yo, massive spoilers coming.
Massive spoilers. If you haven't seen Transformers: Rise of the Beast, you might want to turn this off or skip it. Big spoilers incoming. Yeah. I don't know the last time I was just completely surprised by just the setting of a movie ever in my life. I had no idea this movie took place in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. And it was 90s Dinamo.
It was so 90s. The soundtrack was
fire.
Yep. All 90s hip hop.
Yep.
All the little callbacks, even small stuff like the little brother wearing a Power Rangers shirt, or
them calling each other Sonic and Knuckles and Tails. Yeah,
like just man.
Even Pete Davidson was actually kind of not annoying in this movie.
Wait, he was in this movie?
Yeah, he was Mirage. That was the voice of Mirage.
Oh, I literally didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I thought this movie was really good, man, and it was like diverse than a mug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bro. We had some Latino folks. We had a black woman in like one of the lead roles. Mm-hmm. It was fire. I loved it. And then the fact that it takes place in the 90s, it's like they know, right? Like they know we were watching Beast Wars in 1996, dog, Saturday morning. So it's like they really like pushed this to, the kids that grew up watching Beast Wars. Yep. Beast Wars was like maybe Beast Wars and Reboot, like the two first, like completely CGI.
Reboot was definitely first, but like
Beast Wars maybe second.
Yeah, within like a year or two, Beast Wars was right there.
Yeah, like this was a big deal. Like Beast Wars after Reboot was the second like ever like completely CGI animated.
And I used to fuck with Beast Wars.
I
used to watch that shit all the time. Like that was my like serial in the morning.
Me too.
Show.
Huge Beast Wars fan. The only thing about the movie, I was surprised Rat Trap wasn't in it. He was like one of the most popular.
And they kind of turned the Scorpion one into like like a minion bot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, that too.
So real quick, because I'm gonna let you get to the thing that I know you want to get to, but real quick, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was probably it's in my top 3 of Transformers movies.
So how do you feel about the Transformers movies in general?
Yeah, good question. There are some really trash ones. One of them was so bad I didn't even see it.
Which now, what about the original 3, the first 3?
Oh, are you talking about the 80s ones or
no?
like
I'm talking about the ones with Shia LaBeouf. How do you feel about
I would say I love the first one. Absolutely love the first one. The second one was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the first one. The third one had good action, but the story was not good. But I do remember liking the action scenes a lot.
I thought the third one had the best action scene.
Yeah, for sure. It did. But the story compared to like the first one, second one, actually, I might like the third one better than the second one.
I do too. I like the third one better than it. I've kind of tossed up between the first one and the third one as my favorites. Sure. But I definitely know for a fact I like the third one better than the second.
I'm with you on that. Now that I'm thinking, because the third one has some crazy
That was the one
action.
where we went to. The second one was the one we went to college, and then had the
went to
girl
Egypt
that was like a Decepticon.
Yeah.
Then they did the Matrix of Leadership thing from the
Right.
80s cartoon movie in the year 2000.
Like Transformers 4 was fucking trash because they completely botched.
That was the one with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and they botched.
I didn't like that one.
They botched Galvatron. Horribly.
I didn't like that one.
And so that was trash. And I didn't even watch number 5. Like I just was
and then,
off it.
What about the Bumblebee movie?
Okay, so Bumblebee was. I think Bumblebee might have been my favorite of all of them.
I liked the Bumblebee movie. It was cool.
So to answer your question, my top 3. And no, I'm not going to order them just yet, but I will by the time I finish this point. But the top 3 right now are Bumblebee, Beast Wars, and the first one. And then the third one is probably right there.
Yeah.
The second one was all right, and then the other ones are whatever. Like I don't even care. But after watching this, I absolutely loved the designs of Bumblebee. Like in Bumblebee specifically, the designs were it was basically just the 80s ones, but just in 3D. Like Soundwave and fucking Bumblebee. Like Soundwave is my favorite Transformer. Right. Like just the whole concept of Soundwave is amazing. So I love that. My only tiny gripe with Beast Wars is that they kind of changed the designs a little bit. They made it almost like a crossover between the original designs and like the ones from like 2007, which I mean I liked that first movie a lot, but I didn't love the designs.
Right.
If they had just kept the designs like of Bumblebee, which were like straight out of the 80s, but just brought into 3D, I think Beast Wars would be easily my favorite. But the fact that they didn't do that makes it like I don't know. It's like right there with Bumblebee. And I think the first one is like it's probably Bumblebee
because Bumblebee took place in the 80s, right?
It was like late 80s. Yeah. So
that was really dope. I do remember that about that movie.
Right now, my rankings would be Bumblebee by like a thick, razor thin margin, Beast Wars, and then the first Transformers, and then the third one is in 4th. That's how I would rank them.
Boom. But yeah, I really enjoyed Beast Wars. I wish Cheetor would have been in it more. He was my favorite.
He only had like 2 lines.
But he did some work.
He did have some work with that staff.
It was very, very exciting when they were heading to the battlefield and Optimus Primal finally said,
maximize, dog. I forgot about that.
Me and Jaylus were like,
yeah, because I don't watch trailers. I saw later
me neither.
Yeah,
I have been doing a great job of not watching trailers. I didn't watch a single trailer for this movie.
My man.
I didn't watch a trailer for Spider-Verse either. Like I literally have been not watching them.
It's so much better, right?
It is.
So I didn't see a trailer where he said maximize, and that was the first time I heard him say that since like 1997. So I was like, oh shit, that's right. That's what he used to say.
Same, bro. It was awesome.
That was I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was dope. I even thought it was dope how I thought it was creative the way that I can't remember his name. What was his name?
The main character?
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, I believe.
Nate Diaz is an MMA fighter.
And he's like a crazy Trump supporter, isn't he? Noah Diaz.
Noah Diaz, that was his name. Where him and Mirage, where he kind of like
he put on
armored him and
put on the suit.
That was so
sweet,
cool,
bro.
man. And you know what else it was like? It was very G.I. Joe like.
Funny you should mention that.
So, the big thing we're talking about is, so this movie ends, and Nate Diaz ends up getting a card from a guy
Noah
Diaz. I said, you got me saying it. And Noah Diaz gets a card from a guy who knows a lot of stuff about him and knows about the mission he went on in Peru and everything, saving the planet. And it ends up being, he flips the card over and it says G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
This is another thing that I was not expecting.
It got me.
I haven't seen J-List be this excited in a movie theater like ever. He was like, what? That's what he said. Yeah. I was excited.
So
I don't think.
Before you give your take, I'll just say this: that reveal like completely got me, because I was thinking it was gonna be like, because in a couple of the Transformers movies, there's like that Section 81 or whatever
that
I thought the guy worked for. Too. And I thought they were gonna get him in as one of the early agents.
100%, bro. That's exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
Nah, bro. They flipped the Transformers.
And it was the G.I. Joe. And you already know I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe and Transformers exist in the same universe. They have a bunch of crossover comic books that have been around since the 80s.
Somehow Star Trek also has a crossover with Transformers.
That's awesome.
Which is like wild.
So maybe Star Trek exists in the same universe with those two. So that's really dope, man. And that was like a huge surprise. And then it just had me like, in my opinion, like there's no doubts. I think that he is the G.I. Joe character who's named Mainframe. He's like the tech guy. Like that was, even my son said that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think he's a Latino guy too. So his name's not Noah Diaz, but that doesn't really matter.
So how do you feel about the G.I. Joe franchise? Because those movies were trash, yeah or no? Except for Snake Eyes.
See, let me be. Because those movies are like a guilty pleasure of mine. I do think they suck, but I think they just need to reboot it. I hope they reboot it.
For sure.
They need to keep what they got going with Storm Shadow. I really hope they keep that, because Andrew Koji was amazing as Storm Shadow. I hope they keep that.
I think they will, because why not? Right? Yeah, you kind of already got it built.
But they do need to reboot the other stuff. But like having them in the same has potential to be very good, and also like get weird, man. Like this is G.I. Joe is ridiculous. Like cast John Cena as Duke or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like, bro,
he would do amazing.
They're going to. I guarantee you they will.
He would be amazing as
guaranteed.
Duke. Like he would be amazing in that role.
Also, hot take though, I'm kind of less interested. One of the things about Transformer or G.I. Joe that never allowed me to be like a big fan was that I think Duke is like the least interesting character.
100%, and I actually. That's such a good comment, because I agree. I don't think he should be the main
he shouldn't be the main character.
I think they need to do somebody else, like Lady J, or there's a lot of other Joes that are really cool that could be the main character and not him. So I agree with that. Like that was
the
point.
Only thing that made, and I was, you went through extra effort to become a G.I. Joe fan, because we're both a little bit too young for it.
Yeah.
And so the fact, and I wasn't willing to do that extra work because I just couldn't fuck with Duke, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like I told you, the way I got into it was from the comic books, and then the toys, So, but yeah, that would have me very excited, and like just one more thing about this movie, I love Optimus Prime's one-liners, dog. I do. Like they're so. Like over the top, he's so violent,
bro. He was bloodlusting, dog.
He's like that in all the movies,
dog.
He Mortal Kombat fatality kills all these
sets. Dog. I was saying in the theater,
Unicron was like, "I can give you whatever you want," and he said, "Then die,
bro." He
die.
decapitates so many people throughout
Bro.
this series, dog.
And then I remember in the second one, Revenge of the Fallen, he literally rips his face off and he says, "Give me your face."
Dog, what the fuck?
His one-liners are so sick. I love it.
Yeah. No, he's a bloodlusting maniac.
And the combat is so good too. Oh man, am I gonna have to go home and watch the first one? Because I kind of remember the first one being fire.
It was fire, bro. It was really good.
Like, now that I'm thinking about it,
I
remember the first one being crazy.
I remember our reactions because people were like, "What trans? They can't make this shit." Like,
no, I remember
whatever.
seeing it in the theaters, and as soon as they transformed one time, I was like,
Dog, I was in college, bro. I was in college when this shit came out, and all my friends went to go see it. And we,
good.
The internet was like, it was harder to watch trailers back then.
Yeah.
So we didn't really see a whole lot of trailers. But we were all going into this shit like, man, this shit about to be corny, man.
Right.
Like, let's go see this bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro.
That nigga, Optimus Prime hit that trend, and
the first one was like slow too.
and it played the sound all the way through.
My God.
My whole row was, we all got up and were like, oh my God, this shit is so sweet. Doug.
Amazing.
That first one blew away people's expectations.
I might
dog.
have to go watch the first one again.
Then they started pooping themselves
They
after
started
that.
doing too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this movie. It was fire. Let's talk about the big dog.
Bruh. Ooh.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yep. I don't really know where to start, man. Like,
I mean, I don't know where to start other than I really needed this movie when I was like 13 years old.
bruh. All right, can you imagine, dog? Like,
I don't know. Okay, so I'll start. First of all, it was incredible.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. It was incredible. 10 out of 10. I think it just amazes me because the first one is it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Ever,
it's
yeah.
amazing. And they like took what they did in the first one, which to me was something that we've never seen before.
mm-hmm,
An animation style that was like completely one of one.
mm-hmm.
Then the soundtrack, like, which adds to it so much. And just like the style of that first movie, and then like made it bigger, like brighter. They just built on it and turned it into another like one of one piece of art.
Experience, yeah.
Like the best way I can describe it is sensory overload.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was like sensory overload. There's so much stuff going on with the animation that's incredible. The story itself, the colors, like the animation, like it's crazy. Like this was one of the best, if not the best, animated movie I've ever seen in my life. The only thing is that not finished, and we knew that they had to cut it into 2 parts. But this movie was incredible, and one of my favorite things is like there's no doubt that Miles is the best Spider-Man.
Oh, what?
And
that shit's over.
I think that this movie did a great job of like, no, he's the best one, and there's no, you know what I'm saying?
And he took, I mean, my light spoiler, he like kind of took on every Spider-Man in the universe. Like,
kind of.
you know what I'm saying? Like, not on a scrap necessarily, but like they tried to get that nigga and they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like flat out, like they tried to get him and he was like, "Nah, bro, I'm out."
They didn't,
and they failed. Like that's saying a lot.
But it was amazing. Like even the, I loved the fact that it started with Gwen's story. I thought that was cool. And just the whole, I loved just the whole story of like him being an anomaly and him not supposed to have been bitten by the spider in the first place. And it's just, I don't think I've seen it twice already, and I don't think I've seen a movie more than once and just couldn't articulate my feelings about it.
Yeah.
I don't know really. It's just like I said, it's sensory overload. It's it's a really, really, really good movie, man. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah. And I think it's got something for everybody. It's got something for the older people that you will relate to. It's got stuff for the younger kids. That's why I said, like, I really needed this movie when I was like 13. Like, maybe more than any other movie I saw when I was 13. Like, needed this one. You know what I'm saying?
Same. Yeah, man, I don't really have much to add to that, bro. Like, that shit was incredible. It's one of those things where I had really high expectations because of how good the first one was, and those expectations were
like obliterated,
like, completely destroyed.
Yeah, and it's like not even in, and that's why I can't, because I had high expectations and they got smashed. But I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know if I was like, oh man, like I want to see a bunch of action and a bunch of fights. And this wasn't necessarily that. Mm-hmm. Was it? Not really.
Not really. I mean, there were a couple of good action scenes, but
it's like, I don't know. I can't. Yeah. I don't know. Like even the scenes where he was just swinging and kind of chasing after Gwen, like
yeah.
It's just it's like. It was
just amazing. A good ass story, bro. Like I was just into it, man.
I was really into it, man. The ending credits, the little art thing that they did at the end, that was insane.
Hell yeah,
you know what I mean? That was crazy.
And then you get major spoiler. You get the reveal
of Omari. That's the first thing I thought of. You get Omari Prowler, which was. Bro, fire.
The first thing I did look like that when I was in high school.
That's what I was like. This dude looks 100%. Like young hero
for sure. But the first thing I thought of was like, if Miles Morales, Prime Miles Morales is Huey, then that's Riley.
Yeah, facts.
From the Boondocks. That was my first thought. Like, oh shit.
And it was like, that was crazy. And it's like we knew, right? We knew it was going to be 2 films. We don't even have to wait that long. The next one comes out in March. Yeah. But it just...
And you know what else it does?
Because they just ended it like...
Right, bro. Yeah. So you know what else is interesting about that moment? Did you ever used to do this? Maybe this is just a weird kid thing where like... You ever like wonder like what would an alternate universe version of myself be like?
All the time.
If I didn't have my parents, if I didn't have like the upbringing that I had, if I didn't have the opportunities that I had,
all the time.
If I like just got caught up in some hood shit like some of the rest of these niggas.
And then it's like you think about that, and it's like even though it's an alternate path or alternate version, so something at your core is still going to exist in that other version. Right. Like that's why like you get Miles ain't Spider-Man, but he's
sure.
So it's like I do feel like what would that thing be?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
And so like that was a moment where he was faced with that thing that we think about all the time. Like, yo, here's the alternate reality version of myself, and I'm like a real gangster, bro.
Yeah. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, this shit was really amazing.
Good. Oh my god, I want to see it again. It just like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a movie more than once that I loved and felt really strongly about that I couldn't articulate exactly my feelings for it. Just amazing. One of the greatest films of all time. Straight up.
Same.
You know what's crazy is like I saw this thing on the internet the other day and it was saying how they had a sound issue, so they had to send. So they sent out a new like mix of the movie. Yeah. And you know what? When I did see it, I did think it was a little quiet.
I didn't notice, bro.
I did. When I saw it, I thought it was a little quiet. But you know what? I kind of thought that it was part of because remember in the beginning, Gwen is like depressed, so the colors are a little off too. So I thought maybe the sound was also part of that storytelling element. I wasn't sure, but whatever. I will go see it 3 more times to confirm sound issues.
Yeah, when I saw that report, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't remember
actually did
feeling that at all.
Yeah, so but like I said, I thought it was part of the story. So
yeah.
But all right, man. Cross Spider-Verse, one of the greatest movies ever made. 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Let's go. It's time. We're back. We're back for the SwordCast top 5. We're about halfway through the year. My kid's last day of school was today. Hey, shout out to my son, Jay. He has been, he is in Muay Thai kickboxing, man. He loves it. And he got his first armband today. So that was fire. And
Shout out to
it's just good to see him. And, you know, I talked to him. I was like, I haven't seen him.
$5.
$5. I don't even know what that means, but I haven't seen him that. I haven't seen, and it's like it's happiness, but it's also a sense of accomplishment. Yes, exactly. And I haven't seen him like that since he made his middle school basketball team.
Hey.
And that was the last time I saw that type of like reaction from him, and I was just like, it feels good, doesn't it? And he was like, yeah. He was like so happy. And I was like, you did that, man. I was like, this isn't a team sport. Like this is this martial arts. Like this is you. This is your individual journey. Like I'm not coaching you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is something that you did, and all you do now is just keep moving up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And he was happy, and it was like perfect because I had no idea. Right? So he goes, and I kind of I don't watch him. Sometimes I spy on him. I go around the back, and there's like this little hatch that's open, and I just like peek in there and look at him sometimes. But I want him to do this on his own without him thinking that I'm watching, right? Yeah. So I usually go in there the last like 5 or 10 minutes, and I went in there today, like I always do, last 5 minutes, and his seafood like called. You know, they do their little line at the end. And he just kind of, you know, all right, that's it for class. And then he's like, Jay, let's come up here. And then everybody starts clapping. And then I was like, this was like one of the first times in a while where I was like, I didn't even take a picture because I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I was just in the moment, you know, so that was dope. So that happened today.
Real quick, couple things. One, the $5 thing is an inside joke from the Lebertard show that is a big inspiration for this podcast. They have a fine system, and anytime somebody like clears their throat into the microphone, it's a fine, $5 fine. So I did it earlier.
That's very funny.
Or like if you have like phlegm in your throat and you try to like talk through it.
That is so funny.
And then second, your story. I think I told this story on the podcast before about your son getting his first promotion. It reminds me of when I got my black belt promotion. Did I tell you the story of how in like the Nama karate system, anytime a sensei or a black belt comes into the room or into like the space, they like stop class and everybody bows. Like everyone face the front, black belt entering the building, and you bow to him. My instructor got me with that without me knowing it. So I walk in like with my bag, I'm like fucking bullshit, not paying no attention, and then he stops class and was like, everybody's face to front, black belt entering the building, and I literally turn. I look behind me like, who's here? And then it dawned on me like, oh shit, I just took my black belt test. It's me, bro.
That's so.
Shout out to Mr. Woodard. Shout out to Kyle Felix.
It's me.
Shout out to Cam Lauderdale. That was my other rival. That nigga was a dog too, man.
Kyle Felix is the best.
Kyle Felix.
That's the best. Just name.
Bro, we had all
like
the names.
Fighting game character.
Kyle Felix, Cam Lauderdale. He was a little bit closer to my age, but he was still a little bit older. He was nasty too.
Cam Lauderdale sound like a pro wrestler. That's Cam. That's Cam Lauderdale.
Omari Hall, and I don't even know Ra's last name, but just Ra. A nigga named Ra.
Yeah, that's also.
And he was cold. That nigga, all he knew was like African martial arts, and that nigga. And he's the first person I ever saw do what's the Juji Katara? It's the one where you like the standing armbar takedown.
Juji Katami.
Yeah. I saw him do that in like a sparring match before, and I was like, oh, bro, this nigga's a fucking. He's like that guy's the best martial artist I've ever seen. Like, shout out to Ra, man. Ra was a beast.
That is a nasty. That's a nasty armbar. That's what's up, man. That's such a cool story. Yeah. I love that.
Shout out to martial arts, man. It's good for everyone.
Good for everyone. Good for life in general.
Yep.
But yeah, man, we're about halfway through the year, and let's get a halfway top 5, man. I know you are the gaming master, And I know you have a backlog.
Man, crazy backlog, and it's only about to get worse.
But as we're halfway through the year, what are your top 5 favorite games of 2023 so far?
Yeah, this has been a good year for games, man. I've like really enjoyed almost all the games that I've played, and there's only been like 7 of them, so they almost all made the list. A really quick outside looking in honorable mention is Horizon Zero Dawn Burning Shores, which is the DLC that they came out. Yeah, it was really, really, really dope. Yeah, it's just, I mean, you know how I feel about Horizon. Amazing game. Really dope. They made it so, I had this really weird moment. You know how like people sometimes will like, what's the word? When you make you like have an emotional connection to an inanimate thing. Starts with an A. Anthropomorphize. When you anthropomorphize something. So in Horizon,
Verizon,
you have the ability to ride like robots, right? Like you can ride like a horse robot. You can ride like a fucking velociraptor robot. And late in the game, you get a pterodactyl robot, so you can like fly. Right, so I had one that I was like bonded with. It like it was the same one that I was using for the whole game. And then the DLC, since it's based around water, you get another type of robot that also flies. And it made this weird noise, and I didn't really like it. It was slow. It wasn't the one that I was used to. And I was just kind of like, man, and I couldn't go back and use my old one, so because you were like in a different part of the map, so you had to use this one. Like, all right, fine, let me whatever. So I was using this new one. It was the one that I had been using was a sun wing. This one was called a water wing. And I had this really crazy moment where I almost like got like not like fully emotional, but like I had like a moment of like, damn, like that's kind of crazy. So Aloy, I fell off of a cliff and landed in the water. And typically in this game, your mount, your like pterodactyl or whatever, your sunwing will like be in the air above you no matter where you are. It'll kind of follow you around and be in the air so you can like grapple to it no matter where you're at. So I fell off of this mountain fighting somebody or whatever, and I fell into the water, and I was like, damn, how the fuck I'm gonna get out of here? I guess I gotta swim back. And then the fucking water wing dove into the water with me. And I was like, oh, dog, my dog, you came to get me, bro. And it like endeared me to this inanimate machine in a video game. And I started fucking with that nigga after that. Like,
man, that's how I felt about the horse and ghosts.
Right. Oh, loyal. Shout out to my guy.
The loyalty, man. The loyalty.
Yeah, man. He came in the water after me. And it can like dive into the water. So like that's what makes it better. And I got like on top of this water wing while it was in the water, and then like emerged out of the water on it.
That's fire.
Into the air. It was like something out of fucking Avatar. That shit was sweet.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Anyways, Burning Shores, outside looking in, honorable mention. Number 5, gonna go with Street Fighter 6, bro.
Hey.
Street Fighter 6 is sweet. It's good. I have not played online, and I am not about to fight none of you niggas in the Discord. So let's just stop that now. I do not enjoy playing those types of games online anymore because I like to win too much, and I don't have time to play this shit 12 hours a day. So I'm not about to get my ass whipped and be super frustrated. Like, I'm not doing that. It's not good for my mental health.
Why not?
Because I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. At least not in that way. Not anymore.
Oh, man. Hilarious.
But they have this world. I mean, they really did it, bro. They have a world tour mode where it's basically 2K, but for Street Fighter, you can create your own fighter. You go through like an actual world, like it's like an open world kind of thing. You can literally scrap with anybody on the street. Like, the way that they did it is kind of clever. It's Metro City, which is the setting of Final Fight, the beat 'em up game.
Mm-hmm. I remember that game.
And basically, the events of Final Fight happened. So like everybody in the city remembers when like crime was crazy. So like everybody in the city learned how to fight. And it's a part of the culture in the city to just like scrap for fun. So like You can just walk up to people and be like, "Hey, bro, you want to fight?" And then you scrap with them.
Wow.
Like I shared a video in the Discord of me just running up on this old lady and doing a Zangief power bomb. It was funny. so like the characters, like, you know, the actual fighters are throughout the world, and you can meet with them and you can become their students and learn their moves. Jeez. So basically you can put together a character that has like Chun-Li's moves and Ken's moves and
that's so cool.
Guile's moves all together. As long as they don't have the same input command. So like I don't know, you can do flash kick and Hadouken because they're two different commands, but you can't do like a Hadouken and a fucking whoever else has another move that you do quarter circle punch to do, since it's only one slot for that input. But it's fun, man.
Sounds dope, man.
It is fun. Like, you can create your own character.
Man, I gotta play this game.
My character looks sweet. He's got locks. He's got cool tattoos. I have a tattoo on my arm of the Shoryuken input on my wrist.
Gosh, that's so
and
dope.
it like glows. This shit's sweet as hell.
That's fire.
So shout out to Street Fighter 6. It's a lot of fun. Number 4, Jedi Survivor. Hey, look, bro, I kind of hated on Jedi Fallen Order a little bit when it first came out. I thought that it was a little bit too much Soulsborne-y. But then I learned that I was doing the parry timing is very different in that game. It's actually a lot more realistic. The parry timing in Ghost of Tsushima is like the second you get hit, like right when it makes contact, that's when you parry. And I thought, because that's how most games are, you're supposed to parry that way. In Jedi Survivor, you actually have to get your sword up first, which is like how you would have to do it in real life. And which basically means you have to anticipate and like be ahead of the strike before it hits you. And once I figured that out, I was like, wait, this game is actually way easier than I thought, and I got good at it. So I ended up really liking it. And to be fair, the main character, Cal Kestis, that everybody hated on in the first one, he kind of had a glow up, and he's a legitimate badass in the second one, in Jedi Survivor. So shout out to Cal Kestis. He might make my list as like a top 7 Jedi ever. Like, wow, he's cool. He's got a really cool.
I just like, you already know. I'm just at the point where
sure, create your character.
I want to be able to create my own character.
Nah, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
But I will say that for whatever it's worth, they did improve this character, and he's cool now. He has this ability. He has a I forget what they call it, like a psych or whatever, where he can any object that he touches, he can like relive its memories.
That is
which
really
is
dope.
A cool force power. And he's like one of very few Jedi that I know of that have that power.
I was trying to think who else can do that.
I'm sure Yoda can do it, but he's the only one that I know of where that's like a big part of his like arc.
That's really dope.
Yeah, it's dope. It's cool. All right, number 3, Forspoken, man. Gotta give it up to Black Girl Magic. Game was good, bro. Best magical combat ever. Shit was sweet. I can't wait to play the DLC. But I've talked a lot about Forspoken. I won't waste more time there. Number 2, surprisingly, Hi-Fi Rush.
I mean, you spoke highly of it on here it was a while ago now. But
that game is fun, bro. It's sweet.
I remember people in the Discord talking about it too.
Yeah, bro. Creative. It's fun. It's got a parry system, so you already know I'm here for that. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that game. And number 1 by a million miles, nothing even comes close, is Tears of the... I'm not even done with this game yet, but Tears of the Kingdom.
Not even done with it yet.
Bro, this game is top 5 game for me of all time, I think.
Wait.
I think so. Like, because Breath of the Wild was already like in my top 7 or 6 or something like that.
That's a huge deal.
It's significantly better than Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
And you know how I feel about Breath of the Wild.
Well, my son, so Jay's been playing this Tears of the Kingdom, and he kind of said the same thing. Like, and Breath of the Wild is his favorite game ever.
It's significantly better than Breath of the Wild.
And he was saying, like, Dad, like, this might be the best game ever. He's like, this game is so much better than.
And you know what, bro? like another situation of me not watching trailers and not like doing a lot of, because I'm gonna buy the fucking sequel to Breath of the Wild, like of course, like you don't have to sell me on that. So I didn't look at any trailers. I didn't read up on the game at all. I didn't know anything about the game, the major mechanic of this game where you like build shit. So you remember the first Zelda where you go into like those temples, or the Breath of the Wild, you go into those like temples and you got to do like you have to solve the puzzles and all of that. I thought that the building mechanic was just the thing that you had to do in this first temple or in that first like shrine or whatever. I had no idea that the entire like gimmick of the whole game was, hey, do you want to just play with Legos and like build literally whatever the fuck you want and like complete the game using these things? Have a like, bro, you can create like niggas are making Gundams. I saw somebody there's a video online of somebody that made a Metal Gear. They made like a literal Metal Gear.
Yeah, Jaylus made he made some weird flying thing, bro. And he always, whenever he builds some stuff, he always shows me what it is.
Man, I built a fucking like a hover helicopter with like a flamethrower on it and like a fucking laser cannon.
Oh my god,
bro! You can literally, and I just saw a second ago, like somebody, you can put together like 2 fans and make like a hover bike. Like, bro, you can do whatever you want, dog. I've never seen anything quite like this before. It's easily the best game I've played on the Switch by a mile, and probably in my top 6.
That's crazy.
Favorite game ever. Like,
it's crazy, but it's crazy, but it's not. Like it's crazy, but everything that I've heard, about this game is pretty much like. It's right in line with what you're saying.
Like Nintendo first party games, has any game franchise been more consistently masterclass than the Nintendo mainstream game? Like the big 3, specifically Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. Like every single game that comes out is like at least a 9 out of 10. Every single one of them. Like No game franchise even comes close to that. Like everybody has Final Fantasy has a dud every now and then, right? Like Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed, all these long form, like all of them have a dud. Like even the duds in these series are ones that are like there's like a cult following. Like Wind Waker, I didn't like Wind Waker, but like everybody loves that game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true, man. I don't think
Kirby too. Kirby don't miss either.
It doesn't. And like the same thing you said, like there's people who don't play Kirby, but there's people who love Kirby and it's like their favorite thing ever.
Metroid, another one. All these first party Nintendo games are slam dunks every time, bro.
That is facts though.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my top 5. Street Fighter 6, Jedi Survivor, Forspoken, Hi-Fi Rush, and Tears of the Kingdom in a league of its own.
Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. Boom. Let's go, man. Love it. All right, so you're the video game master. You talked about your top 5 video games. I am the pro wrestling master. Now, I was kind of teetering if I wanted to do top 5 like favorite wrestlers right now of 2023 so far, or if I wanted to do matches. Both good. I decided I want to do wrestlers and not matches. So I'm gonna do my top 5 favorite wrestlers of the year so far. Which this is something that changes. Like
for sure.
Because sometimes you have a favorite, and sometimes they're just not featured like that, or they get hurt, or they're just not around for whatever reason. So I decided to do my top 5 favorite wrestlers of 2023 so far. Couple honorable mentions, man. Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I absolutely love everything that this guy is doing right now. I think Seth Rollins is hilarious, but he's also a great wrestler. The one thing that bothers me, man, like WWE crowds drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And sometimes like he'll be and what they do is, and you can't really blame this on him, but sometimes it's like I just want him to be serious sometimes, but he like can't because the crowd won't stop singing his song. You know what I mean? And he plays into it every time, which like again, you can't. I mean, what do you want him to do?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Hey, shut up.
Stop. Hey, stop. Hey, no. Stop having fun.
Knock it off.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't, not going to do that. But, sometimes I just wish that he would, I wish he would, I just wish he would get a little more serious sometimes. But again, not his fault. And that's okay. Shout out to Seth Rollins. Another WWE guy, man. I'm giving WWE some props to these honorable mentions, man. Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
I love Gunther, man. I think everything he's got going on with the Intercontinental Championship, Imperium, it's all great. It's all lovely. I mean, if we're really to sit here and we had to think of a guy that could realistically had to be dethrone Roman Reigns, like who else in WWE could you even consider right now outside of him?
I mean, Seth Rollins really, but he's already got his own thing going on.
Could you though? Like Seth's fire, but in terms of like just like a character that would work in terms of beating Roman Reigns, who is just in terms of like the booking and the story wise, like he's pretty much untouchable right now.
For sure.
I feel like Gunther's the only guy on even close to that level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my answer to that question. But yeah, man, let's go. I could sit here and do honorable mentions all day. All I do is watch wrestling. You guys know that. But just real quick, I'll shout out some of the guys that killed it in Best of Super Junior. Shout out to Speedball Mike Bailey. Shout out to Leo Rush. Just amazing wrestlers in New Japan, man. But let's go. Let's do my top 5 favorite wrestlers of the year 2023 so far. Okay. So let's go, man. Let's get into this top 5. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. With my first one, and it's gonna be a tag team, and that's gonna be the Lucha Bros. Look, man, I love the Lucha Bros. I will always love the Lucha Bros. I can't get enough of the Lucha Bros.
Same.
They are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions right now. They are always doing, and you know what? If we're gonna take out somebody, if we're not gonna get Pac back, I don't know what's going on with Pac. I'm kind of hoping he shows up at Forbidden Door. I don't know. But there's no better person to stick with them than Bandito.
Agreed.
Bandito's been with them, tagging with them, but it's just every time the Lucha Bros get in the ring, and it's like it's not just as a tag team, it's them individually too, man. Like Phoenix had a fire match against Claudio, Blackpool Combat Club for the Ring of Honor Championship a couple weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are so good in tag team. They're so good individually. Like they're always having great matches. Like I love them. And I'm still like one of my favorite matches of the year. It was right at the top of the year, man. Remember they had the Best of 7 series with the Elite, the last match, the ladder match. That match was insane. Love them. Shout out to Lucha Bros. Number 4, my 4th favorite wrestler of 2023 so far. I gotta go with Bryan Danielson, man.
Been killing it.
The Dragon, the American Dragon. He has been amazing. He has the Iron Man match with MJF, which a lot of people think is probably the second best match of the year behind the GOAT. You know, he had that. He had leading up to that, like he had so many good matches, man. Like he had the match with Bandito on Dynamite Fire. He had the match with Roosh where they were just beating the crap out of each other. Fire. He had the match with Takeshita.
That was a great match.
Then he just had the match with he just had the Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing. That was fun. And now this dude's about to wrestle Okada at Forbidden Door, man. Like Bryan Danielson, amazing. My third favorite wrestler of the year. Let's go, man. And I feel like a lot of people still don't know how to feel about this guy. I am absolutely loving Sonata as the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
He's my number 3. I just said earlier, Muda trained him, so I've always been a fan of him because he kind of wrestles like him, but he just looks like a champion. He's having good matches.
I saw something interesting on Twitter just now about him, but I will let you find out about it.
Boy, does it have to do with who he's going to face at Forbidden Door?
It does. It's probably not who you think.
All right. This is what I'm going to do.
All right.
I'm going to give you a top number 1 person I would want him to face at Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to give you a person that would not even be close to that dream matchup, but someone that I would still accept because I think they would have a good match.
Okay.
And it has to be an AEW wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, it would be Kota Ibushi, but he hasn't showed up in AEW yet, so it's not going to be him.
Right.
So, without being able to say Kota Ibushi, I think my top like number 1 dream opponent for Sonata at Forbidden Door that is on AEW's roster right now. Ooh. I think it would be like Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would be my number 1 because it's like you can't really say
They got history, don't they?
LIJ. Yes, they do. Los Ingobernables. They got some history. Similar, like laid back kind of style to like. I think they could have a really good match. So that would be my number 1. Now, like I said, kind of way less exciting wrestler on AEW's roster, but I think that he would still have a good match with. Ooh, I think he would have a good match with Jungle Boy. I think Jungle Boy is like got that. The way that Sonata wrestles, bro, he's like really smooth, but he does like some submission stuff. He's a good chain wrestler. Like, I think he would have a good match with Jungle Boy. I think Jungle Boy is kind of exciting. He kind of wrestles at like kind of like fast paced a little bit. Got a little bit of everything. I think they would have a good match. And I think he would honestly be like, if we're not gonna do some like world breaking like Kota Ibushi or like if we're not gonna do some world breaking matchup, like, and we're gonna settle for something like how Forbidden Door kind of got jacked up last year, and some of the matchups got a little like, if we're gonna settle for something like that, like I think Jungle Boy would be a good, because he's not gonna lose the IWGP Championship,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So, I think in that situation, Jungle Boy would be somebody that would be a good matchup for him.
You just might get your wish, bruh.
Is that really who he's about to run at Forbidden Door?
Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
That is hilarious. AEW hire me right now. That is funny. But yeah, man, Sonata's my third. He's had an amazing year, first of all. Winning New Japan Cup. Beating Okada for the championship. He's had 2 fire title defenses against Hiromu Takahashi and Tsuji. G1's coming up. I think he's about to smash G1. Like I'm loving Sonata right now. Let's go. Here's where we get interesting. My second favorite wrestler of 2023, and a wrestler that I think will be in the top 5 of PWI 200 when it comes out. Orange Cassidy.
Let's go. Agreed.
Let's talk about Orange Cassidy.
Bruh. He's like the MVP of AEW right now.
I have never seen... First of all, he is 100% the best booked wrestler in AEW. Like, not even close. Yep. He is the best booked wrestler in AEW. But what I want to say... Oh, and second of all, bruh, the match he had with Swerve last week...
Fire.
That was amazing. One of my favorite matches of the year.
Yep.
But I've never seen a wrestler fit more comedy spots mixed with like insane high level wrestling.
Excellent wrestling, yeah.
And he just, and the way that he goes from 0 to 100 in spots and then goes back down, and then goes from 0 to 100 and then goes back down. One of the greatest gimmicks of all time. Orange Cassidy is amazing, man. Like, I love that guy. So he's my second favorite wrestler right now. And again, this is one of the best gimmicks, and not just now. Like, this is one of the best gimmicks in wrestling history
of all time,
ever. And I mean, I want him to keep winning and just keep defending the title. Like I said, he's been the most consistently good, well-booked wrestler in AEW. Like, and he has good matches.
Right.
Every time he's in the ring, like
every title defense.
Even going back to last year, man, like we all thought Forbidden Door was going to be a disappointment. Here comes Orange Cassidy having a amazing match with Will Ospreay. Like, this guy.
That was like a star-making match.
Yeah, I think it was for sure. And you know, he's kind of reaping the benefits from it now. But shout out to Orange Cassidy, man. Amazing. Love him. The guy's incredible. But number one, I don't even have to talk about it. You guys already know. The best bout machine. Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega back on his best bout machine behavior. Just having an incredible year already. He's already got match of the year with Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom 17. One of the greatest matches of all time. If you still haven't watched it, I talked about it for a long time on some episode a while back.
Yep.
But man, he had that. He had the match against El Vikingo on Dynamite. That match was crazy. Had the seventh match in the series with against Death Triangle, the ladder match, amazing. Had the cage match against Moxley on Dynamite, amazing.
Bro, he almost destroyed his knee. I was so happy.
He almost, that
was crazy.
When he hit that V trigger through the cage, that match was amazing. The Anarchy in the Arena match, amazing. Like, he's just having one of those Kenny Omega years again. And he's involved in the best storyline in wrestling right now outside of the Bloodline stuff. Like this whole thing with him and Don Callis and Elite and Blackpool Combat Club and Konosuke Takeshita, and now he's about to wrestle Will Ospreay again at Forbidden Door too. Like, just having an insane year, man.
Do you think I mean, Kota Ibushi is obviously who he's teasing as his backup. Do you think it's possible that he also might be able to team up with Will Ospreay against them?
Oh, you mean
against like the Blackpool Combat?
You think Will Ospreay joined them?
I mean, maybe not officially, but just like a enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. That would be amazing, yeah.
That would be fire. But I don't know. Him and Ospreay kind of hate each other, so we'll see.
Like in real life, not
in real life, but just like that's their thing, like their whole.
Well, I figure like after this match, there could be some sort of respect.
That would be dope. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
But just everything that he's involved in is so good right now. That's my top 5 favorite wrestlers, man, of the year right now so far. Lucha Bros, Bryan Danielson, Sonata, Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega. Shout out to Asuka too, man. Shout out to Bianca Belair. Love both of them. Io Shirai, Io Sky.
Shout out to also Athena having a nice
Athena,
run.
man, being the Ring of Honor champion.
Yep.
I wish Ring of Honor wasn't so hard to watch. Their cards are good. I've seen, but you have to subscribe to their little streaming thing to watch it.
They don't put it on YouTube?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. So yeah, man, that's it. It's my top 5 favorite wrestlers of 2023 so far. Thank y'all for listening. SwordCast is back.
Hold up, wait. One thing I've been waiting and teasing. Oh, actually, I wasn't teasing it. I just kind of didn't say shit about it. But I've been waiting to start the tournament again. The video game.
You guys already doing it?
We started it in anticipation of this episode, because I knew we were going to be recording again, so that's why I started getting it up. So I can give the standings for the play-in, which we did complete.
I have to start voting.
Yep. Well, they were pretty one-sided. It wouldn't have mattered. So in Region 1, so I'll read the regions again real quick. I think we did an excellent job with the regions. It was so before Noveliss took time off, he sculpted the first draft, and then I kind of fine-tuned it from there. So the regions, Region 1 is the number 1 seed is Link, number 2 seed Sephiroth, number 3 seed Dante from Devil May Cry. Number 4, Jin Sakai. Number 5, Agent 47. Number 6, Doom Guy. Number 7, Max Payne. Number 8, Sam Fisher. And then the play-in for Region 8 or Region 1 is Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue and the Hunter from Bloodborne. All right. So Region 2 is number 1 seed is Kratos. Number 2, Cloud. Number 3, Geralt of Rivia from
that's
Witcher.
That's a top 3.
This is a dog ass bracket, bro. Number 4 is the Wolf from Sekiro.
Wow.
Dog,
this is one bracket,
bro.
This
entire this region is a nightmare, bro.
That's crazy.
Number 5, Red from Pokemon,
bruh.
Number 6, Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, this region is crazy.
Number 7, V from Cyberpunk, and number 8, Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
That's a tough region, right?
Yeah, there. that's a hell region. Region 3. Oh, sorry. And then the play-in for Region 2 is CJ versus Nico.
CJ from San Andreas.
Yep. And then Nico from 4.
That's
GTA 4. All right. Region 3. Number 1 seed Samus. This is a motherfucker right here too. Number 2, Master Chief. Number 3, Bayonetta. Number 4, Raiden from Metal Gear Solid.
Ooh, that's my guy.
Number 5, Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. Number 6, Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Number 7, Chris from Resident Evil, and number 8, Marcus Phoenix from
Gears of War.
Joe put God of War, which is hilarious. But it's all good. We know what he's talking about here. And then number 4, this might be my favorite. Oh, no, it's not. It's got 2 of my favorite people in this region. My favorite region is Region 2. But this one has 2 of the dogs that I'm rooting for. In Region 4, number 1, Aloy from Horizon. Number 2, Snake.
Wow.
We didn't actually specify which Snake.
Snake?
I think we're going to go Solid Snake.
Snake.
Yeah, because, Solid Snake is the most popular. Although Big Boss has been more popular lately, but we're going to go with Solid Snake. Number 3, Ryo Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. Number 4, Lara Croft. Number 5, Jill Valentine. Number 6, tag team, Ellie and Joel from The Last of Us.
That's smart. That's smart.
And then number 7, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. And number 8, Gordon Freeman from Half-Life. And then the play-in for regions 3 and 4. Region 3 was 2B from
Nier Automata
versus Lu Bu from the Dynasty Warrior series. And then
I love me some Dynasty Warriors.
Dogs, my guilty pleasure, bro. just want to fucking slap a bunch of dudes with a big ass spear and 100 niggas at a time. Been doing it since 1997, but it's fun. What do you want from me? I like it. I enjoy it. And then the play-in for Region 4 is John Marston from Red Dead versus Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs.
Wow.
So here are the results from the play-in.
Is that all you guys have done?
That's all we've done so far as a play-in.
So
we're back.
Nice.
Let's see. So the play-in, you guys, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to weigh the tournament in one direction or another. But you guys made me proud, dog. Ryo
Let's
Hazuki
go!
emerges out of the play-in into the 8 seed over the Hunter, 18-10. Shout out to Ryo moving into the tournament, my guy. He about to get absolutely sacrificed though, but that's all. He made it in, so that's all I care about. Region 2, CJ absolutely kicked the shit out of Nico, 20-8. So CJ will be coming in representing San Andreas.
Trevor's gonna do a run in.
So I actually put Nico getting embarrassed, calling in his cousins, and I put a video of Nikola Jokic's older brother, the one that's like a Serbian gangster. Region 3, a little bit of a closer match, but 2B emerges victorious over Lubu.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna happen.
Yep, and then in another pretty close match, actually not really, Region 4, John Marston destroys Aiden Pierce 17-9. So John Marston is entering the same bracket as his big bro, or not really his big brother, but his mentor sort of, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead. So there we go. We're ready to get it started.
Sounds fun. I like it. I'm in.
Boom.
SwordCast is back. Thank y'all for listening. We back.
Yes, sir.
So we're back on schedule. Well, this ain't on schedule, but you know.
we know what y'all know what we mean. So.
Thank y'all for listening. Oh yeah, real quick. Before I get out of here. So I start watching all the Zatoichi movies again. Right. So the second one was always my favorite. I haven't seen the first one in so long because it's like I watched it and then I just like sprinted through all the other ones, so I completely don't even remember the first one. I went back and watched the first one. I think the first one's my favorite one.
There it is.
I think the first one is my favorite one. I think it has. I love the second one. The second one's got more action. The story in the first one is way better, and it has some action, but the action scenes are really good. And then it's like you don't know anything about Zatoichi yet, so he's kind of this more mysterious character than the first one. I think it's my favorite one. I think the first one's the best one. So boom, there's that random fact.
Boom, there it is.
Boom. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.